Greetings, my friends, and welcome to another episode of A Journey Back to Health. Thank you for joining me today. I'd like to go over let's see, that would be one, two, three, four, five, my sixth and seventh workout. Now, my sixth workout was not exactly what I would consider a workout. It was more just me trying to stay somewhat in shape while I was on vacation. Took the family out to the mountains over the weekend, and obviously, I'm not going to bring my whole home gym with me. So that's the challenge. Is when you break from your routine, you need to find a way to still stay fit and still stay active while you're away from your home gym. So that was the challenge for me this weekend. And, as anybody knows, when you're on vacation, the idea is that you want to relax, you want to take it easy. You start to let yourself go a little bit. You start to eat, junky stuff and not really watch what you're eating. Tend to drink alcohol and you don't hydrate yourself as well. Typically, anyway, that's been my experience. Maybe not everyone is like me, but that's usually what happens to me. So the challenge for me over the weekend was trying to stay as active as possible so I don't lose my steam, don't lose all the momentum that I've built up so far. Obviously, being in the mountains in a cottage, really, really nice place, by the way. If ever you get a chance to visit Mont Tremblant area in Quebec, check it out. Beautiful, beautiful place, rolling hills and mountains and lakes and just gorgeous. So, I mean, obviously, when you're going to be spending some time in a cottage in the mountains, you're going to be somewhat active. I spent the better part of my time on the lake paddling with this little paddle boat with the kids and with my wife and family. Other family that I have were there as well. Fishing, did some hiking. We just did some exploring and we had some fun, So obviously there's that element of just staying active and moving around. I know a lot of folks tend to just beach themselves on these type of vacations and not move, you know. But myself and my wife are big believers in staying active and moving around and exploring your areas when you're on vacation and rather than just loafing around. So even though I told myself I was going to mainly spend that time to relax and recharge my batteries for work, it mostly was spent, having fun. And having fun usually means being active. So I wasn't able to do as much as I wanted to for my, what was that, the sixth workout, which is day 27 of the whole process. But I did manage to do some things which I'll cover now real quick. Basically, wherever you go, you can still do your stretches, obviously. So I was still able to do my stretches, standard stretches that I describe in my day 3 blog and video. Nothing really to that. You can stretch wherever you are. You don't need equipment. It's pretty straightforward stuff. As far as crunches go, I probably could have done some, but I didn't end up doing any crunches because I'm just so used to doing it with the yoga ball. And it is somewhat of an excuse to not, because you can do crunches anywhere. It's just in the past when I haven't used the ball to do my crunches, I do end up with some neck pain and some upper back pain, so I didn't want to even risk that on my vacation. Plus, I'm used to having a very firm mattress, and the bed that we were staying at, or the bed in the bedroom that where we were staying, it was very soft. It's a very soft mattress, so it kind of screwed up my back and my neck. I don't know if it was a pinched nerve or something in my back. It was really painful, so I didn't want to aggravate that too much. But on the Sunday of the weekend, I decided that it was time to do something. So I ended up doing some push-ups. I did as many push-ups as I could. Wasn't really keeping track of anything. So as far as reps go, did some pull-ups took the kids to a park, and there were some jungle gym equipment there, so I took advantage. And I love these parks that have the playground equipment, and then right beside it they have like an obstacle course for kids. I just love that stuff. And they do have the monkey bars and whatnot that you can use to do some pull-ups. So wasn't able to do a whole lot, but at least it was something. Just did some pull-ups overhand, underhand. Again, you can check all this stuff up on my log, my workout log, if you want to really know exactly. And look at this. Look at this right here. That's a major bug bites all over my body. Just covered in mosquito bites and these little gnats or flies. I'm not sure what they were, but they love to burrow themselves in your skin, and it makes a really itchy welt, kind of like a mosquito bite, but even worse. So I'm just covered in bug bites. But hey, it's proof of a good time. It's proof that we spent a lot of time in the outdoors. So as far as the tricep presses go, which is another one I managed to squeeze in, I wasn't necessarily doing a press with any weights or anything, but what I was doing was sort of a reverse push up where you're kind of leaning back on a picnic table or something like that, and you're kind of doing push ups but from the back. I hope that makes sense. I can't really show you. Yeah, I can't really show you, but you're kind of leaning back like this, pushing yourself up backwards on the picnic table. Hope you guys understand what I mean by that. Other than that, I was able to do some squats. I did a full set of squats without weights, obviously, but that was good. And then I also did some jogging and walking through the mountains. And wow, is that ever challenging? Compared to what I'm used to doing for cardio, this was very, very challenging going up and down those mountains. I had to stop. Not only was the air a little bit thinner, I mean, we're not talking huge elevations here, but the air was a little bit thinner, and um, the hills make it really challenging, especially going up, obviously. So I ended up having to stop to rest a couple more times and just walking. But it felt good, felt really good. Um, I did start to experience a little bit of heart palpitations while I was doing my cardio. Obviously, pushing really hard, going through those mountains again. So I had to slow down a couple times and just let myself get back to a normal place for circulation and whatnot. But all in all, it went really really well. Um, yeah, the whole point for me anyway was just to keep myself active as much as possible while I'm away from my routine. But after I came back, jumping into my day 30 of the whole journey, um, which would be the seventh workout. So my goal, guys, was to get in 8 workouts in the month if I could, which was roughly a workout every 4 days, roughly. So I ended up doing 7, but I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest with you. 7 workouts in a month may not seem like a lot, but when you're going from being completely sedentary, you know, not doing any exercise whatsoever, eating like shit, you know what I mean? 7 workouts in a month, and we're talking hour and a half, 2 hour workouts here. My workouts are fairly intense for a beginner, so I'm very happy with my results so far. Um, I mean, yes, I could have done more, but with the heart condition that I'm experiencing, and with the risk of injury which I've suffered in the past, I didn't want to take any chances. So, I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy with where I'm at right now. If next month I manage to do a workout every 3 days, I'll be happy with that as well. I mean, one thing I talked about in one of my other videos is that you gotta recognize your accomplishments and the little improvements that you make, which I'll talk about here in a moment. But you got to pat yourself on the back. And that's the whole point of taking these pictures that I've been posting on my blog. And again, I apologize that I haven't been keeping up with the blog. I just don't have the time right now. I'm not giving up on it, but work has got me pretty busy right now. I'm just flooded with work from the beginning of my shift till the end, just and often working overtime. I just don't have the time to spend on these kind of things anymore. Typically, these type of videos I make during my lunch hour on Wednesdays, where my wife and daughter go to the library to have story time, and it gives me a little free time to work on this stuff. But other than that, I don't really have the time during the week to spend to do this stuff. So I apologize for the slowness of my blog entries and my videos, but it is what it is. I can only put out what I can. Um, but all that to say that you gotta pat yourself on the back. And yeah, that's what I was saying with the pictures. I'm not taking these posing pictures of myself with my shirt on or shirt off and in my underwear just for fun or because I'm vain necessarily. I'm doing this because I want to be happy with the progress that I make. So when I look back on my pictures in a few months' time, I can maybe notice some of those little subtle differences, and proof of how far that I've come since I started this process. Halfway through my exercise yesterday, which was my seventh workout, I started to feel like my energy was just dipping, and just a simple thought of, hey, Matt, you're doing what you wanted to do. You're accomplishing what you set out to accomplish. Be happy with that and be proud of yourself for what you've done so far and keep it going. And just that thought, just that self-motivating thought was enough to get me through the rest of my workout when I felt like before that thought, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to finish my workout because I was approaching the 2 hour mark and, you know, really low on energy, even though I was seeing some impressive results. Um, I just ran out of steam towards the end when I got into my lower leg exercises. So just a thought of you're doing it, you're doing what you wanted to do, and when you're meeting that goal was enough to keep me going and to stay motivated. But anyway, to talk about my day 30 workout here. So, which was again my seventh workout of the month, which is I'm not going to be able to squeeze in another one. I want to give myself at least 24 to 48 hours to recover. So, I'm not going to get another one in by the end of this month, or I will by the end of June. But what I meant to say is I'm not going to get another workout before day 31 of my journey. So, as far as the first month of the journey itself goes, 7 workouts, very happy. And here I'm going to talk about the seventh workout a little bit here, which was by far my best workout to date. So it's proof that I'm getting stronger, I'm getting fitter, and the results are starting to show. So which is also a very motivating factor. As far as the stretches go, standard, I'm not going to talk about that too much. It's always the same thing. You can check out other previous entries for more information on that. My crunches, because the reps were so high in the previous session, I decided to up the weight. So I'm now using my Hex 20-pound dumbbell, one of those behind my head, to do my crunches and have a much better range now, 26, 16, and 15. They were kind of painful though, I'm not gonna lie. With that 20 pounds behind my head, it was a strange sensation. It wasn't necessarily a pain in my muscles. It was almost like a pain in the surrounding tissue. Like it was really strange. Um, I have a feeling that the 20-pound weight just increased the intensity so much that some of the other smaller muscles around the abdomen area got a workout and um, they weren't used to getting that sort of workout. Sorry, someone's talking to me on Skype here, but they can wait. Um, as far as the push-ups go, they're still very challenging. I didn't put any notes here, but 9, 5, and 3, that's with the handles. Oh, and I also got myself some workout gloves because I noticed the more that I work out, the more I'm developing like these calluses on on my hands and on my fingers. So I just picked myself up some of these workout gloves. These are just like a pair of cheapo Nike gloves, just all-purpose sort of exercise gloves. I guess you can use these for biking or whatnot. But 20 bucks. They arrived, within 2 days. They're already fraying on the ends of the fingers, but hey, for 20 bucks, can't go wrong. If you guys have any other suggestions for that type of stuff, I know some folks use chalk. So if you have any other suggestions for me on what I can use to prevent calluses from forming on my hands, that would be awesome. But yeah, even with the gloves on and with the handles, the push-ups are still one of my more challenging exercises. And then going into the pull-ups, which is also one of the other very, very challenging exercises that I do. For the overhand pull-up, which is like this, Um, I finally saw some improvement, which was very encouraging. The gloves seem to be helping for my grip, and I also widened my grip a little bit. My bar, the bar that I put up in the doorway, it's a little awkward in the sense that if I go towards the middle, it feels like I'm too crunched up together. But if I go too far, then there's no material, there's no foamy material to grip onto. It's kind of hard to explain. I'll show it in maybe one of my future videos, but when I start to actually maybe even record a session, which I haven't decided if I want to do yet, but basically I was able to, because I had the glove for cushioning, I was able to widen my grip a little bit to that area on the bar that didn't have any foam. So I was able to pull myself up a little bit easier that way. I was able to do 4, 3, and 2. And again, I'll just remind you that last rep, the single one on the end, is just me holding it up as long as I possibly can and letting it down, just using the weight of my body to slowly let myself down and create as much resistance as possible to help build some strength a bit faster. And it seems to be working because I did go up by 1 rep. It's not a huge improvement, but it is an improvement nonetheless on one of the hardest exercises that I do. So I'm happy with that. The Arnold curls actually got some improvement too, which I was very happy with. I did 8, 5, and 4. And after the sixth one, I kind of felt like I wanted to puke. It was tough. For some reason that day, the Arnold curls were really challenging for me, but I was still able to push out 8 reps, and then 5, then 4, and really, really struggling to push those out. But I did it. And again, I had my workout buddy. My daughter was there to motivate me. If you can get somebody to work out with you guys, it just makes all the difference in the world. Even if it's one of your kids, just somebody there to keep you on pace and to just work with and laugh and have fun with it. That's what it's all about. It's having fun and enjoying what you're doing. It's not a grueling task here. We're doing this because we enjoy it and because we want to feel better about ourselves. So as far as the curls go, they're a little bit high. I would love to increase the weight on these. I just don't have the weights, which is something I'm gonna have to look into very, very soon, is getting some more weights. Probably a couple more heavier hex dumbbells and some additional free weights. But I'm not quite there yet. Very, very soon though, I'm gonna be looking into that. Probably check some more some ad used listings to see if I can find some used weights somewhere. I don't want to buy them new because they're like $1 a pound. That's just more than I'm willing to spend. So for the laterals, again, which is a curl into a punch, that's down a little bit, but that's because I was getting some tightness in my forearms. I have a feeling that's because of the increased reps that I did for the Arnold curls, and the pull-ups probably strained my arms a little bit, so I wasn't able to do as many laterals. But I also had some significant downtime over the weekend, so that would explain that. Still a pretty good range though, 25, 18, and 12. Again, something that I could technically increase in the weight, but when you do these, or sorry, 15, 13, and 11. I was looking at the wrong category here. So those are actually really good, still in a really good range. I would like to up those actually a little bit, but when you're doing these laterals with 20 pounds on each arm, trust me, it's a challenge. It's a challenge if you're not, the Hulk like me. As far as the tricep presses, I still love these, and the fact that it's working out a different part of the arm really makes it easy to do even after I've done all my curls, my Arnold curls, my laterals. I'm still able to do the tricep presses because it's focused so much on the tricep muscle and not the rest of the arm. So tricep presses, yeah, 25, 18, and 12. That's definitely something I could increase on weight, but I didn't mark here that there's been some improvement there, significant improvement. So I need to maybe look into that as well. Incline bench presses, another improvement. I pushed really, really hard on those though, probably more than I should have. And surprisingly enough, which I mentioned here at the bottom of my log, I didn't get any heart palpitations this time around, which I'm pretty happy with. But I'm kind of surprised I didn't because I pushed really hard on those incline bench presses. Managed to do 12, 18, and 5, which was really good. But man, I freaking pushed hard on that one. Wow. Um, all the other stuff, as far as the leg exercises go, I didn't really put any notes here because didn't really have much to add. Leg presses, lower leg presses, they're still a bit on the high side. I need to add some weight to those. The squats were really tough this time around because I was so drained by the end of this. And again, this goes to show how much impact that a down weekend can have. If you let yourself go, even for just a few days, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it in your energy level. I felt it in my breathing, where my lungs were just not able to process the oxygen as easy as the previous session that I had. So, all things to keep in mind. As far as the cardio went, I did have a brisk walk and jog with the dog, and halfway through my jog, I decided that I needed to come back home, mainly because I was starting to get a little dizzy and weak, and I think mostly that's just from pushing really, really hard. I did have my daughter with me, and I had a little bit of anxiety around the thought of what if I were to pass out. And anybody who's had anxiety in the past knows it's all about these stupid what if thoughts that pop into your head. But I was thinking, like, what if I pass out from not, having enough energy, and the dog and my daughter take off, or they don't know what to do? I didn't want to risk putting them in that situation, so I just turned around and went back. So I actually didn't end up doing cardio for 15 minutes. It was probably more around 7 or 8 before I decided to turn it back around. But cardio is again one of my big challenges that I need to focus more on. Cardio is definitely something I would love to be doing every day. And there's really no excuse for not doing it. Everybody can fit in 15, 20 minutes of cardio every day. And I'm just making too many excuses for myself why I shouldn't, or I haven't done it. So that's definitely something I need to work on. I did go up in weight a little bit from my gluttonous weekend. Not going to talk about that too much. Everybody knows why that is, eating fatty foods and stuff that's not good for you. So I'm back on track now, though, and I'm ready to increase the intensity and the frequency of my workouts going into my second month of this journey. My stamina is through the roof, which is awesome. Even though I had a down weekend, my stamina is amazing. I noted here I'm only out of breath after doing exercises for about 30 seconds now or less, which is very, very encouraging. Typically before I would do just one of these exercises, whether it's crunches or curls, whatever, I'd be out of breath for about 2 or 3 minutes before I felt like I was ready to do another one. And even then, felt like, how am I going to do this next one when I'm so out of energy from just one exercise? How am I going to get through all these? But now my breathing and my circulation has been drastically improved. A, from being more physically active, and B, from quitting smoking. So, big pat on the back there for that. So, and I'm seeing the results, which is what it's all about. You can tell somebody all the benefits of quitting smoking or being physically active if you want, but once that person directly sees the benefit and experiences it and feels it, it makes all the difference in the world. So, and it's so motivating. It makes you feel so ambitious because it makes you wonder, well, what's around the next corner? What sort of benefit am I going to experience by surmounting the next obstacle? So, all things to keep in mind. Again, I put here that I had no heart palpitations that day, thank goodness, and I didn't take any supplements, which maybe explains that. That's something I also need to look into more. I didn't take any ginseng, didn't take any omegas until after my workout. Didn't take any ginseng at all since I've had that last heart palpitation issue. I only drank 1 cup of coffee that day too, which may explain it. All factors to take into consideration. Oh, and I did wait at least 2 hours this time after eating before I jumped into my workout. And for hydration, I was taking small sips of my water throughout instead of chugging. once I got to the end of my workout, then I started drinking more because I was feeling a little dehydrated. But small sips just to wet the mouth and get that dryness out of there. But you don't want to be gulping water because it will definitely cause cramping. That's what I've noticed anyway. So that is all for today, my friends. Thank you very much for joining and for all your support and your kindness. I cannot express that enough. So stay with me and let's keep discovering new ways to be better versions of ourselves as we go. And I hope that you'll join me in my journey back to health going into my second month and my eighth workout here coming up in a few days, which I will keep you posted on. And I'm going to try really hard to get a couple more blog entries published in the next few days. So thanks very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.